as a prosecutor in Texas. I mean, that's Texas, when it comes to my mind, it's always hard justice, I think.
Well, I think that you don't know it until years later, but growing up at the DA's office here in Houston in Harris County, we're the third biggest county in the country. So that's a lot of murder cases, hundreds, if not thousands of murder cases every year. So we get a lot of experience. I got a lot of experience, which is what led to, the kind of wealth of knowledge working with a team of people that got the same kind of experience where they're from that gets us to where we are today.
What always, and we'll talk about the 100th episode in just a second, what always concerns me is that people seem to be trying cases in the media and not understanding what really happens in a trial.
Oh my God, you're preaching to the choir, man. When it's so hard for me to follow a lot of cases and shows because you have people talking about it like they know what they're doing. And until you are a prosecutor who's worked on murder cases, sexual assaults don't really count either. Murder cases, circumstantial evidence murder cases are even more of a finite group. That's the kind of experience that you have to know and have to be able to get somewhere with our show.
In approaching 100 episodes, which is a huge milestone in television, what did you learn along the way?
I learned a lot. I think the first thing I would tell you is I never thought it would last this long. We never thought that we would be able to find this many cases, to make it go on for 10 whole years. 100 cases, 100 shows, that's one way to say it, but it also means that there were 100 families out there that really, really depended on us and hoped with us and thought that we could get something done. And we met those families and we tried our hardest. And everywhere you go, the stress and the pressure and the pain, it's all real. And when we bring it on a show, we try to show you the true story of what really happened as we really tried to solve those cases.
Now, with all your education as an attorney, jumping into television must have been, a shock.
That's a nice way to put it. I think it's two completely different worlds. My world is all about reality and the truth and what's admissible and the details and focusing on getting the job done. The part about telling the story and, the way the TV world works, we've had those moments like this where I'm going, no. I know that y'all want to do that, but that is not the way it works in my world. I do usually win those fights because they have to let me win them because our show is real, right? Exactly. But it's been a process for me, and I would think that the people that I work with directly on our show have learned a lot too. I think some of the people on our crew know more about working on cold cases than a lot of prosecutors I've run into, honestly.
And you brought this up earlier, the families that you've affected over the 100 episodes. That must feel really good, is to bring people to justice and alleviate the suffering of families that are looking for some kind of closure.
It does. It feels really good when the right answer happens and we get an arrest or a resolution at the end. It does not feel so great when we think we've really solved the case and we drive out of town and the prosecutor still hasn't filed any charges. Because I know I'm not bullshitting the family. I'm not going to fake it. When we solve a case, we solve a case, but I can't file the charge like I did in my old job. And that's the frustrating thing about working on the show. And I know that families are grateful and we bring them hope, and that's wonderful. But I want something to happen. Yeah. We're doing this because we mean for something to happen. And that's what they really want and hope for. And that's the goal here.
And there's that old saying that the wheels of justice turn very slowly.
Even more slowly now because of COVID and the backlog and all that's going on in the law enforcement world today. I see all the comments where people say, we need an update, we need an update. And I'd say, guys, there aren't a lot of updates because the justice system is years behind and things move really, really slowly.
Cold Justice, the 100th episode. Your fans are just, everybody's talking about it on the internet. It has got everybody kind of just, in a flurry.
Well, you're very sweet. I think that I think that people watch our show because they're smart TV watchers. They want to figure it out themselves. They want to play armchair detective. They wish that they could have done what I do now in another life, and they get it and they want it real and they appreciate our brutal honesty and they want something to happen. And I think that that's super cool. I wish the people that watched our show could all be called down for jury duty. That'd be a great thing because they really, really understand how it works.
In our final seconds we have together, I mean, there are so many law shows on TV that does that just make you pull your hair out at just how they, bend the system to make it a television show?
A lot of times. There are some that are really good, but most of the time they make you crazy. I don't watch as many of them as people probably think.
Kelly, it's a pleasure and an honor to talk with you. And again, it is Cold Justice, the 100th episode coming up on Oxygen. Thank you so much for your time this morning.
Thank you. Thank you for all your support, sir.